I always believed in justice, in the idea that karma would take care of those who wronged me. But when I lost everything, my job, my reputation, my peace, I realized karma was taking too long. It was time for me to take matters into my own hands. It wasn't just about payback. It was about making sure they felt every ounce of the pain they had inflicted on me. I had never imagined myself capable of revenge, but the betrayal changed something inside me. It unlocked a darkness I never knew existed. I spent weeks crafting the perfect plan. It had to be slow, precise, poetic. I wanted them to feel the walls closing in, to question their own sanity, to wonder when the next blow would come. I had no intention of getting caught, no reckless mistakes, no last-minute emotions clouding my judgment, just pure, calculated destruction. The first step was to isolate them. A carefully placed, anonymous tip led to an internal investigation at the company. I knew how to twist the truth just enough to make it believable. Suddenly, the man who had humiliated me in front of the entire office was under scrutiny. His emails were being monitored, his past transactions re-examined. Watching him squirm, watching his confidence chip away piece by piece, it was intoxicating. But this was just the beginning. The real revenge was psychological. I wanted them to feel haunted, watched, unsafe in their own lives. It started with little things, a misplaced document, an unfamiliar email that disappeared before they could open it. Then it escalated, doors left unlocked, strange phone calls in the middle of the night, the feeling of being followed. Revenge wasn't just about ruining their careers, it was about breaking them from the inside out. I started leaving notes, not threats, not obvious warnings, but little reminders of what they had done. A sticky note on a car windshield that simply read, "You remember, don't you?" A text from an unknown number that said, "Karma is coming." Nothing direct, nothing they could report, just enough to plant the seed of paranoia. And it worked. One by one, I watched them unravel. Sleepless nights, nervous breakdowns, second-guessing their every move. They started making mistakes, turning on each other, looking for an enemy they couldn't see. That was the beauty of it. I wasn't coming for them with anger. I was coming for them with fear. They started questioning their own sanity. I made sure of it. One of them, Lisa, the woman who spread lies about me, was always so sure of herself, always in control. I wanted to change that. I broke into her house while she was out, didn't take anything, didn't leave a trace, except for one thing, a single red thread tied to the handle of her closet door. It meant nothing to anyone else, but to her, it meant everything. It was the same red thread she used to tie her hair at work. She told her friends, but they laughed it off. "You're being paranoid," they said. "That's the worst part about revenge done right, when no one believes you, when the world convinces you it's all in your head." She started sleeping with the lights on, started double-checking the locks, but nothing could stop the fear that had taken root. Then there was Mark, the boss who had laughed in my face when I was fired. He had always been untouchable, arrogant, untouchable, until now. I knew his weakness, his perfect little life, his flawless reputation. I made a fake account, started sending messages to his wife, a few suggestive words, a few old photos manipulated just enough to create doubt. That was all it took. His wife confronted him in a crowded restaurant, her voice sharp with accusation. People stared, whispered. I was there too, sitting in the corner, watching as his world cracked apart. He tried to explain, tried to salvage his dignity, but the damage was done. He left in a hurry, face pale, hands shaking. That night he drank more than usual. I knew because I had paid the bartender to keep refilling his glass. The best part about revenge isn't the final strike. It's the waiting, the slow, agonizing stretch of time when they think, maybe, just maybe, it's over. That's when you hit the hardest. I let weeks pass, let them breathe, let them think the worst had come and gone. Then, just when they thought they were safe, I sent the letters. Each one was personalized. One sentence, handwritten, left somewhere they couldn't ignore. Lisa found hers taped to her bathroom mirror. Did you lock the door? Mark found his in his briefcase. You should have been more careful. And the others, well, let's just say their reactions were just as satisfying. One of them, Jeremy, was the kind of guy who thrived on control. He had made my life hell, taking pleasure in every little power move, every smug smile. So I took control from him. I hacked into his schedule, sent fake emails to his clients, canceled important meetings. Then I set up a call with his biggest investor. Only it wasn't him who showed up. It was me. I let him watch from a distance as I fed his client lies, made him look incompetent. By the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. His career was crumbling before his eyes, and the best part, he had no idea it was me. But soon he would. They were desperate now, scrambling, searching for answers. They whispered in corners, exchanged frantic messages. Who's doing this? Why is this happening? But none of them dared to suspect me. That was the most satisfying part. But revenge, true revenge, isn't about just hurting them. It's about making them live with it. So I disappeared. No more messages, no more warnings, just silence. Because in the end, silence is the loudest punishment of all. Silence is powerful, but noise can break a person. I knew that too well, so I gave them a soundtrack to their paranoia. Lisa's phone started ringing at odd hours, private numbers, no messages. Jeremy would come home to his TV playing static, though he swore he turned it off before leaving. And Mark heard his own voice whispering in recordings that had never been made. It wasn't hard to set up. A little tech knowledge, some creative timing, and their own minds did the rest. Lisa smashed her phone against a wall one night. Jeremy filed a report with his building's security, swearing someone had been in his apartment. Mark, he didn't sleep for days, afraid of what he might hear next. They could brush off notes, ignore phone calls, blame technology. But what if the message was carved into their reality? One morning, Lisa found something new on her bathroom mirror. Not a note this time, but words scratched into the glass. Are you alone? Mark's office door had deep, jagged cuts, like someone had been clawing to get in. Jeremy's car, parked safely in his building, had a single word spray-painted on the windshield. Guilty. There were no cameras, no proof of who did it. But they knew. Panic set in. Lisa moved out of her apartment. Mark changed his locks and started working from home. Jeremy didn't drive his car for weeks. They had taken so much from me, and now, finally, they were losing the one thing they had left, their peace.